Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Everybody, myself Rahul Mishra and welcome to official YouTube channel of Entries. Student, in this video I am going to discuss the most important bank codes and numbers which generally comes in your mains examinations. So this video is very important in terms of your examination point of view if we talk about banking awareness section. So from this video you can expect a direct 2 to 4 questions. Okay, so do watch it carefully from beginning to end and note down all the important points which I have discussed in this video. Okay, so let's start the video then. So now we will discuss our first code of this video, that is IFSC code. So what is the full form of IFSC code? It is Indian Financial System Code. This full form is very important because it has been already appeared many times in previous examinations. Okay, so you should know this full form. And what is IFSC code? It is an alphanumeric code, which means that it contains numbers and alphabets in it, and it is used to identify any branch under the NEFT system. So what is NEFT? NEFT means National Electronic Fund Transfer. See student, all the important points regarding NEFT I have explained on my video which is named as types of payment. So do check it out. You will get to know each and every point which is very important as per your examination point of view. Now next, IFSC code is must for NEFT and RTGS transaction. See, what is RTGS? RTGS is real-time gross settlement. So the basic purpose of both NEFT and RTGS is to transfer fund from one bank account to another bank account. So IFSC code is used for that purpose, to transfer the fund or to identify the bank branch where that account is located to which the transfer is being done. Okay, so all those points regarding NEFT and RTGS I have explained in my video that is known as types of payment, so do check it out. And IFSC is 11-digit code which includes 4 alpha characters, and 5th digit is always 0. Okay, it is always 0, and last it includes 6 digits only. So the first 4 characters are alphabets and 5th digit is always 0, and the last 6 digits are in numbers only, or you can say they are in numeric form. So the first 4 characters represent the bank name, 5th digit buffer, I told you it is always 0, and last 6 digit represent the bank branch. So this 4 alpha character include bank name, and this 5th is buffer means 0. Okay, and last 6 digit represent bank branch. So total is it of 11-digit code. Okay, so our next code is MICR code on check. So what do you understand by this? That MICR is present in check only. Okay, so what is the full form? Full form is magnetic ink character recognition. This full form is very important, so you should mug it up. And it is 9-digit code. Okay, and segregation of these 9 digits is the first 3 digits represent city or district, the next 3 digits represents the name of the bank, and the last 3 digits represents location of branch, or you can say branch name. So this is MICR code. I have given example over here, and it is present on check only. Okay, and the first 3 digits represent the city, that is Mumbai, and next 3 digits representing the name of the bank, that is ICICI, and the last 3 digits representing the branch name. So in total we have 9 digits, and this is MICR code. So what is the purpose of MICR code? It uniquely identifies a bank branch participating in electronic clearing scheme. So basically, to recognize the authenticity of the check, MICR code is used so that the check clearance gets smoother. It is allotted to bank branch, is printed on the MICR band of the check. MICR used for electronic credit system. Yes, this thing I have explained, that it is present on the band of the check. Downside of the check, I will show you where the MICR code is written. Okay, and what is the purpose? Used to identify the location of bank branch. So this is the purpose of MICR code. So this is the sample check. The first 6 digit in the band of the check is your check number. Okay, as you can see over here, and this 9 digit code is your MICR code. Okay, and this one is IFSC code, used for RTGS and NEFT, as I told you already. The first 4 digits are of alphabet, and the fifth digit is always 0, or you can say buffer, and last 6 digits are the numbers. So this is the example of IFSC, check number, and MICR code. I hope it is clear now. So check number is written before the MICR code. So this is the check number. It is of 6 digit. Okay. So now we will discuss the SWIFT code. The full form of SWIFT is Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. This full form is again very important because it has been already asked many times in examination. So now some important points about the SWIFT. India was 74th nation to join SWIFT network. SWIFT code is standard format of bank identifier code. Okay. This code is used particularly in international transfer of money between banks. See, this line is very important. It is used for international transfer. Okay. Now, a majority of forex related messages are sent to correspondent banks abroad through SWIFT. So any type of international transactions between the bank is done by using the SWIFT code, and forex related messages as well, also done by using the SWIFT code. Now, how many digits SWIFT code consist? SWIFT code have 8 or 11 character. When code is 8 digit, it is transferred to primary office. So how to segregate this 8 or 11 character? The first 4 digit represent the bank code. The next 2 digit represent the country code. Country code means for India we use IN. So this is our country code. Okay. And the next 2 digit represent the location code, and the next 3 digits represent branch code, which is optional. So basically from SWIFT we can take out 3 to 4 important points, that is what is the full form and what is the number of India in terms of joining the SWIFT network. Okay, and what is the purpose of SWIFT code and how many character does it include. Okay, it include 8 or 11 character. The purpose is international transfer of money between the banks, and India is 74th nation to join the SWIFT network, and the full form is Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. So all these points are important regarding the SWIFT network. Now we will discuss about the UPI code. What is UPI? The full form of UPI is Unified Payment Interface, and it is developed by NPCI, that is National Payment Corporation of India. Okay, and UPI is built over the IMPS infrastructure and allows you to instantly transfer money between any two parties' bank account. So UPI is developed by NPCI and it is built over IMPS infrastructure. What is IMPS? enter mobile payment services. So we can use UPI to transfer the money by using mobile device from one bank account to another bank account. This is the purpose of UPI. And UPI has PIN, which is 4 to 6 digit passcode, which you have to create while doing the first time registration, which is built over on the UPI platform. Okay, for example, Paytm, Bheem, PhonePe, and the upper limit per transaction is rupees 1 lakh. So more important points regarding the UPI I have already explained in my video, that is the types of payment. So do check it out where you will get extra important point apart from this. Okay. Now we will talk about MMID. So the full form of MMID is Mobile Money Identifier. This full form again is very important because it has already appeared in mains examination. And MMID is a 7-digit code issued by the bank to their customer for availing IMPS. So for using IMPS infrastructure, you should have MMID code which is of 7 digit. Okay, and what is the full form? Mobile Money Identifier. So what is the purpose of MMID? Used in IMPS fund transfer, mobile number, and MMID is used for sending money. Okay, and it is used in the place of account number and IFSC. See, if you have MMID, so it will work as both account number and IFSC. Just by entering the MMID, you can easily transfer or receive the money. Okay, and a full form I have already discussed, that is Mobile Money Identifier. And mobile banking activation for MMID is must. So now we will discuss about LEI, that is Legal Entity Identifier. This is the full form and you should know this one also. So what is LEI? The definition is it is 20-digit unique code to identify the parties to financial transaction worldwide. So if any kind of financial transaction is done between the parties, LEI is used. But what kind of parties, that we should know. Okay. It has been conceived as the key measure to improve the quality and accuracy of financial data system for better risk management. So this is the purpose of introducing LEI, that is to improve quality and to improve the risk management and to have accurate financial data of those parties which involved in LEI. Now with the help of it, banks effectively monitor debt exposure of corporate borrowers. So it is actually given to corporate borrowers, which means the parties. Okay. So by using the LEI, bank may be able to identify how the corporate borrower is performing regarding the loan repayment or how much debt they have already. So that is why LEI is introduced. So by using that, the bank may be able to foster risk management effectively, and it will also enable banks in preventing multiple loans to the companies against the same collateral. So it is also enabling the bank to identify whether the same type of loan is taken by the corporate borrowers with the other banks or not. Okay, so this is also helping in better risk management. So that is why LEI is introduced. Now we will discuss about the PAN, that is permanent account number. This full form again is very important. Okay, PAN is a 10-character alphanumeric identifier issued in the form of laminated PAN card by the income tax department. So it is issued by the income tax department and it is 10-character alphanumeric digit code. Okay, to any person who applies for it or to whom the department allots the number without an application. It can also be obtained in the form of PDF if the user don't wish to obtain it physically. So it is available in both the format, that is on the form of card, or you can avail it in the form of PDF as well, and it is issued to any person, but the person has to apply for PAN card on the income tax department. Now it is also issued to foreign national such as investors, subject to valid visa, and hence PAN card is not acceptable as a proof of Indian citizenship. So this is the reason why PAN card is not taken as a proof of Indian citizenship, because it is also issued to foreign national which came to India for doing the investment. Okay, a PAN is necessary for filing income tax return. So without PAN card you cannot file your income tax. The PAN or the PAN number is 10 character long alphanumeric unique identifier. This thing I have already told you. The PAN structure is as follows. Example is this. Okay, and this is how the PAN card look alike. I hope you all aware of this. So this is all about the PAN card, which is important in terms of your examination point of view. Okay. Now next, UAN. So what is the full form of UAN? Universal Account Number. So every employer contributing to EPF has 12-digit Universal Account Number. The Employee Provident Fund Organization EPFO allot it. So PAN is allotted by Income Tax Department, and UAN, that is Universal Account Number, is allotted by EPFO. Okay, the UAN of an employee remains the same throughout the life, irrespective of the number of jobs he or she changed. So it remains same throughout the life, irrespective of the job change. If employee change the companies one to another and another to another, then UAN will not get affected. It is always same. Every time an employee switch his or her job, EPFO allot a new member identification number, that is ID, which is linked to UAN. So when you change the job, you will get this ID, and that ID will be linked to your UAN. Okay. You can put in request for new member ID by submitting the UAN to the new employer. So you have to generate the request on the EPFO website. Once the member ID is created, it's get linked to UAN of the employee. Okay, so this is all about the UAN. What you have to remember in this, the full form and its digit and the one who allots it. This is important as per your examination point of view. Now we will talk about UIDAI. What is UIDAI? The Unique Identification Authority of India. Okay, this is the full form. This is again very important, so you should know this one also. Is a statutory body that is established under the provision of the Aadhaar, okay, Act 2016 on July 12, 2016 by the Government of India under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, that is MEITY, Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology. So the formation of UIDAI. The government established UIDAI with the objective to issue unique identification number named as Aadhaar to all residents of India. That is, Aadhaar will be robust enough to eliminate duplicate and fake identities. So this is the purpose of introducing Aadhaar, that it will eliminate the duplicate and fake identities. Now Aadhaar can be verified and authenticated in an easy and cost-effective way. With this objective, the first UID number was issued on 29 September 2010. This question is very important. To a resident of Nandurbar, Maharashtra. So far, 121 crore Aadhaar number has been issued so far to the resident of India. So total Aadhaar number is 121 crore, and first person was the resident of Nandurbar, which is located in Maharashtra, and it was allotted on 29 September 2010. Okay, and the purpose I have already explained over here. And what is the full form of UID? Unique identification number, and it is allotted to individual, or you can say to all the resident of India, and this UID will be different for different individual. It will not be same. And what is the purpose? To eliminate the duplicacy and fake identities. Okay, and what is the full form of UIDAI? The Unique Identification Authority of India. Now we will talk about Aadhaar card. Aadhaar, which means foundation, is a 12-digit unique identity number. So Aadhaar is 12-digit unique identification number issued to all Indian residents based on their biometric and demographic data. So this 12-digit Aadhaar number is issued after taking the biometric of particular individual, means the fingerprints, and demographic data means his or her address, okay, and the locality, landmark, etc. So this was all about the Aadhaar and UIDAI. So this much only is important for your examinations. Now we will discuss about star 9 and hash service, that is USST. So what is the full form of USST? Unstructured Supplementary Service Data, and it is launched by NPCI. Okay, this service was launched envisioning the potential of mobile banking and the need for immediate low value remittance, which will help in financial deepening and inclusion of under banked society in the mainstream banking services. So basically it is used to improve the financial inclusion or to provide the financial services to each and every section of the society. Okay, and it is very low cost. So star 99 hash service was dedicated to the nation by PM Narendra Modi on 28th August 2014 as a part of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Okay, banking customer can avail this service by dialing star 99 hash, a common number across all telecom service providers, on their mobile phone and transact through an interactive menu displayed on the mobile screen. I will show you what kind of display it shows on the mobile. Okay, when we dial star 99 hash. Key service offered under star 99 hash include interbank account to account fund transfer. So we can do fund transfer by using star 99 hash service. We can do balance inquiry, mini statement, besides host of other services. Now this service offered by leading banks and all GSM service providers and can be accessed in 12 different languages including Hindi and English. So it is provided by all the leading banks and all the GSM service provider, this star 9 and hash services. So from this part the full form is very important. Okay, and you should know when star 9 and hash service is launched. Okay, and it is launched by which organization. Now see, when you dial star 9 and hash on your phone and press the call button, the display will be like this. You have to select the language English, Hindi, Bengali and any other. After that you will get this, welcome to Bheem, star 9 and hash, and enter your bank's name or first four letter of your bank IFSC. After entering the bank name or first four letter of IFSC, another window will be appear. So by using that window you can access the financial services. Okay, to download our entry app, the link is given in the description box. When you download it, it will ask you the login detail. When you fill the login detail, you will get the interface like this. On our entry app, you will not only get the reasoning section quizzes, but also different subject quizzes which are relevant for your exam, such as quantitative aptitude, English, and general awareness. all these quizzes are being updated regularly. If you want to practice, what you have to do, you have to go in the practice section where you will get interface like this. Okay, you can click on the exam which you are preparing. After clicking on this, you will get your free mock test. Okay, so let's suppose you have clicked on SBI Clerk 2020. Okay, after clicking it, you will see the interface like this. Our app will ask you, are you preparing for SBI Clerk 2020? Then simply click on yes. Okay, then you will see the number of courses related to SBI Clerk 2020. You can attempt any of these course related to SBI Clerk 2020. Okay, let us suppose you have clicked on model exam. If you clicked on model exam, you will see the window like this or interface like this. Okay, in model exam section, you will see the number of mocks. Okay, you can attempt any of this mock because it is available free on our app. Okay, let's suppose you clicked on mock 18. Okay, after clicking it, you will get interface like this where it will show you the number of questions in that mock and total time allotted to it and the total number of marks. Okay, after attempting it, you will see the interface like this where you can see the number of questions correct by you and the wrong done by you and total number of question which is unanswered. Okay, after this you will see this analytic window. Okay, this is very important because by seeing this only you will be able to analyze your weak areas and work on it. Okay student, if you like my tricks given in this video, you can purchase our premium classes which is available only on the Entry app, where I have taken various chapters like inequalities, puzzles and so on. By purchasing our premium classes, you will not be able to improve your weak areas, but also your marks in examination will also get improved. And student, you are getting another benefit also by downloading our app, that is you can attempt free daily quizzes and you can attempt live IBPS RRB rank booster quizzes as well. And daily live quiz is available at 10 a.m. on our app, and you will get daily 15 questions and time will be allotted to you, that is 15 minutes. So must download our app to boost your scores. Okay student, if you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe it. Okay, if you like our video, just give a thumbs up. Do not forget to comment and do share our video to your friends and other those who are preparing so that they can also avail the benefit provided by the Entry. Okay, see you in the next video student. Till then, take care. Bye bye.